Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to talk about another gacha game voice actor that is currently undergoing some harassment in their community. And this situation is one of the most ridiculous, absurd ones I've ever seen. Because, well, first and foremost, it's not actually going to be from a Hoyoverse game. It's actually going to be Wuthering Waves. But when you look at the absurdity of what's actually going on, you'll probably agree with me. This is likely astroturfed. So let's go ahead and start breaking down the situation. There is a post in, I believe, what's called the Gacha Grail community. I don't actually go here very often. I was linked this. And the take over here is, why can't English voice actors act like normal people? Right? And so we see over here him saying, it's canon that Brant and Alto are lovers. This over here, I personally viewed this as a bit of a joke. Right? This is what I consider to be, and and again, if any voice actor, anybody takes offense to what I say, I apologize in advance. I immediately viewed this as a situation where it's kind of like a bit of a fruity guy making a bit of a gay joke. But that's pretty much what I took from it with so little context. But the thing is that people are now going ahead, right, and reading way too much into the issue without doing any goddamn research themselves. We're seeing people say stuff like, it's his livelihood, actually. He is promoting his videos as Alto's VA, not making these vids as a regular guy. People are going ahead and they're saying, oh, he's basically, as a representative of the game, he's going ahead and, instituting certain things about, like, whether or not certain relationships are canon. He's doing all of these super bad things, right? And the situation has blown up even further because now we have individuals writing literal essays over to Wuthering Waves support, saying things like, hello, I'd like to report English localization problems that doesn't fit the localization category. Just recently, the English voice actor of Alto, James Day, made a video polling for Brant and saying in the beginning that if he pulls him, it's canon that Brant and Alto are lovers. Right now, this is causing a bigger ruckus on Twitter and other social media because similar VA comments do. This video has actually been taken down by James Day. But I've gone ahead and I've actually taken a look at what he said in the video. And I'm going to be real, guys. Let's just play it. Are you guys ready for this one?
If I get Brant in this 10 poll, it's confirmed, it's canon that Brant and Alto are lovers.
This guy is literally in the process of pulling on banners and then makes a joke while pulling. If I get Brant early, then Brant is going to be, it's confirmed that Brant's in love with me because he came home early. And I'm also voice Alto because I'm the Alto voice actor. So it's a joke about the character he voices and the character that came home early being lovers. Guys, do you know what so many people say as they're pulling? I've said things like, if I don't get her in this 10 pull, I'm going to uninstall the game. If I don't get her in this 10 pull, I'm going to go do something in Minecraft. If I don't get her in this 10 pull, I'm going to go Brigade Wuthering Waves. People will say shit like that all the goddamn time just because it's like a fun thing to talk about super wild stuff as you're in the middle of doing pulls. That's just really what it is. So this is just like the lack of context that's actually being spread over here is ridiculous. He's just making a joke about getting an early 5-star while pulling on the banners. I'm going to become an XJJ member if I lose 50-50. If I lose a 50-50 right now, I'm going to leave a 1-star review. Guys, if you're going to hyper-analyze every single goddamn thing that somebody says during a polling session, we're all fucked. Every single streamer is completely screwed because we make jokes like this all the time. That's what interactivity, that's what building a good community is. That's what it consists of when it comes to streaming. And to go ahead and start extrapolating, right? And even, most importantly of all, leaving out the context of, if I get Brant in this 10 poll, and then just listing out the sentence afterwards, Oh my gosh. This is some of the craziest misinformation ever, isn't it? At a baseline, this is just an absurd amount of misinfo because you can clearly see even Google recognizes that there's a comma in this sentence. Even Google, the auto transcript feature, recognizes that this is not a complete statement. But of course, people trying to sow some discord, people trying to create some chaos, they're going to leave out all that context, right? And this is why I said what I said at the start of the video. This is why I said it feels like this is astroturfed. This is why I said it feels like this is somebody actually internally trying to sabotage the Wuthering Waves community and make everybody appear way more toxic than they actually are. Because this is one of the most bad faith splices editing like that I've ever fucking seen. This is like a reach that goes beyond the goddamn stars to try to paint somebody in a negative light. And the unfortunate result of this issue is that the incredibly absurd messaging of this statement, when we've gotten the full context already, it's like not even close, is leading to people who are, naturally, I think, way too dedicated to the cause to start doing some really retarded shit. Because this, in my opinion, this is one of the dumbest things I've seen somebody do. I think they legitimately got baited by a Hoyo shill, though. I don't think Ofa's actually that bad of a guy. But they got giga-baited into thinking that this VA is, like, using his platform to, like, try to, like, institute homosexuality in Wuthering Waves or something like that. When it's just, bro's just making a joke about getting an early 5-star and winning 50-50. Making a joke when you get an early 5-star and win 50-50. What are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen? What are we doing here? It's not that deep. And this is probably some of the worst parts about it, right? They're going ahead. They're talking about how damaging it is to communities, making them toxic and unhinged over time. No, you're the only person being toxic and unhinged over here because you bit down on bait that somebody trying to sow discord in the community laid out. You got caught. You got hooked like a goddamn fish. And now you're going ahead, reaching out to support, saying all this crazy shit over one of the most...
If I get Brant in this 10 poll, it's confirmed. It's canon that Brant and Alto are lovers.
Bro, if you just read that clip and you think it's anything other than like a joke during a polling session, get therapy. Get checked out. Go to a doctor. See a psychiatrist. I don't know. Gain spiritual connection somewhere. Clearly something needs to go on if this clip is enough to send you into like some sort of fury, like a need for retribution. Oh, we must have justice for the wrongdoing that's been done here. There's nothing going on. And the thing is, this isn't it with the issue. There's more. There's more, ladies and gentlemen. Seethe, tourist. Wuthering Waves is a harem game designed for straight men. Either learn to be a normal VA or keep your fetishes to yourself.
If I get Brant in this 10 poll, it's confirmed. It's canon that Brant and Alto are lovers.
This motherfucker doesn't go outside. And you know what? I'm actually going to go take a look at their profile real fast. I'm a little bit scared, though. I'm a little bit scared of what I might find. So I'm just going to quickly black out my screen just to make sure that I'm not going to see anything wild. Oh. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, I didn't have to look very far. You can kind of see that this is clearly an individual who's here just to shitpost from the ZZZ community and literally make the Wuthering Waves community look worse. Again, like I said, it's always astroturfing. It's always somebody that doesn't actually play this game that's trying to cause as many issues as fucking possible. It's always a Hoyoverse player who makes the most wild, outrageous claims, says the craziest shit. It's so ironic that they're even going ahead and then this on the nose about like,
Seethe, tourist. Learn to be a normal VA. Keep your fetishes. They're so scared of quoting despite not being blocked.
Guys, the community is literally getting baited. You are getting baited by these Hoyo shills that are trying to rally you and get you to attack VAs, just like how they do. They want Wuthering Waves to be brought down to the same fucking level as all of the other Hoyoverse games. Because this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's pretty goddamn easy to see. We got the Aglaya VA situation is crazy, where Hoyoverse players harassed Aglaya's VA for following people. Literally nothing else. It's just following people. Then we got Skirk's VA getting canceled for talking about a crack ship between her and her real life partner. Guys, they have a literal track record of doing this repeatedly over and over and over again. They just harass their VAs over the smallest shit, just like how you're getting baited by Hoyoverse players into harassing one of your Wuthering Waves VA over...
If I get Brant in this 10 poll, it's confirmed, it's canon that Brant and Alto are lovers.
You're getting baited into harassing people, sending letters to support, doing all of this because of this situation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Saint from the future over here. I've actually done some additional investigation, some additional digging into this Gacha Grail group, and what I've found is probably going to be a little bit shocking to you. So we got this B person over here, Gacha Responses, clearly somebody that's been on the front lines of the cancellation of the Alto VA. And when you look at some of the past tweets that they made in other Gacha groups, it's kind of clear what's going on over here. They're trying to spread the image that, yeah, we can all agree that the Woo-Wah community has become even worse than the Genshin community. Just so you guys know, this was actually yesterday, I do believe, before all the cancellations have occurred. And so what better way to make a statement like this true, right? Where we're going ahead talking about all the bad things that they've done, other than to fuel the fire even more by creating this witch hunt for the Alto VA. Little bit interesting, right? That we went ahead, gave sort of like this foregone conclusion about how bad the Woo-Wah community is, and then proceed to go ahead and start a harassment campaign against the VA. Over, naturally, we've already covered it, nothing at all. A literal joke. Then we go ahead and we can take a look at Little Green over here, who's been naturally one of the people on the front lines of this cancellation, making all of those very loaded posts to try to sway people onto their side in the Gacha Grail group. And this is what they've said regarding the matter. Gacha Grail is the Wuthering Waves community. You'll learn to accept this reality more with each passing day. It's very, very clear, I hope it is by now, the type of narratives that people like this, these covert operatives, like I said before, that are clearly all playing Hoyoverse games, they're going ahead, they're creating this statement that the Woo-Wah community is so much worse than all these other gacha communities, and then in their own personal group that they're modding, they're going ahead saying, we're the actual accurate representation of the community. And what the community does is go out and cancel VAs who are doing awful things like making jokes. I hope you guys can all see what's going on over here. I think it's abundantly clear. This is the most severe astroturfing I might have actually seen. And unfortunately, everybody that's in this group is feeding into the dynamic. And you are essentially fueling these absolute, I'm just going to be honest over here, jobless losers. I don't know why they're doing this, but when your public track record looks like this, and it's so easily confirmed what your guys' agenda is, I hope it can become very clear to my viewers what the hell is exactly going on over here. Because does this really make sense from a group, a moderator, that is actively trying to fuel the fire even more and try to make the community look even more toxic? Huh. Little bit interesting, isn't it? So, yeah, Saint from the future out. Just a little tidbit that I wanted to share to paint a clearer picture of the story. This is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. You are going ahead. You're allowing yourselves to be baited by Hoyo Shield community members, where they have a literal track record of harassing all of their VAs over literally non-existent issues. Oh, wait, I forgot about the last one over here. The Yazuha VA situation, right? Where ZZZ players harassed the Yazuha VA because she posted a GIF that later on she said she had no idea what this flag even meant. She didn't even know it was a flag in the first place. And isn't it ironic that in this situation, where we had a bunch of ZZZ players harassing the Yuzuha VA over LGBT stuff going on over here with the flag and all of that. Oh, well, now you got another ZZZ player, ladies and gentlemen, trying to start the same exact thing in the Wuthering Waves community and then repeatedly making posts. Do you guys see a link over here? And would you look at that? Hook, line, sinker. Congratulations. You got baited by a Hoyer shill into making the Wuthering Waves community look like a piece of shit. Because anyone that looks into this fucking issue is going to see the live stream, hear this clip.
If I get Brant in this 10 poll, it's confirmed, it's canon that Brant and Alto are lovers.
Bro just makes a joke while doing a 10 poll, and you decided to go on this fake fucking crusade for no fucking reason. It's so ridiculous. It is insane. And I'm just going to be honest, guys. Why are you letting this happen to you? Why are you letting ZZZ players rile you up and bring you down to the same level as every other Hoyoverse game? I actually have a follow-up as well where I'm going to talk about Dr. Ratio's VA getting harassed too, if that one isn't uploaded already. It just keeps going. And the only thing freaks like this are trying to do is, again, make it so that they can say, it's not just Hoyoverse games that are harassing their VAs. Look, Wuwa's doing it too. It's the VAs that are actually the problem, not our Hoyo communities. And unfortunately, people like Ofa, like I said before, I don't think he's a terrible person, but by God, is he being a fucking idiot right now. And now, there's going to be the narrative, ladies and gentlemen, that Wuwa is just like all these Hoyo gays when it comes to harassing VAs over nothing. But hopefully, I've been able to paint the picture that A, this is not worth harassing for in the first place, and B, you have literal Hoyo shill operatives playing all these other games trying to bring you down to their level. So just be on the lookout for it. Be on the lookout for the rage bait. Be on the lookout for stupid ass responses like this. And remember, there's no reason to be schizoing out.
If I get Brant in this 10 poll, it's confirmed, it's canon that Brant and Alto are lovers.
There's no reason to schizo out this hard. Write letters to support over something as harmless and fruity and jokey as this. So let me know what you all thought about this situation. I think it's ridiculous, and peace out.